Everybody, and welcome to Video Selling Live. I am your host, Chris Bogue.
And I am your co-host, Elena Magnuson, Head of Customer Success for SunSpark. I guess I'll continue on with. Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and this is the show for all things video selling. So this is a brand new show. This is episode 1. Hello, welcome everybody, and welcome Selena.
Thank you. Appreciate being here. I'm honored, excited.
Yeah, well, we're very excited today. We are going to be getting deep into video strategy, video sales techniques, and this show is for anybody who wants to learn more about video selling. So I'm an advisor to SendSpark, but you don't have to be a SendSpark user to join in the conversation today. We welcome video sellers of all kinds. So whether you're using SendSpark, whether you're using a different program like Vidyard or BombBomb or Loom, maybe you don't even have a video program, maybe you're just getting started with just your phone, that's okay. This is the show where we are always going to cover different techniques and strategies and different ways that you can improve your video selling tactics. So before Selena and I begin today, I want to give a shout out to everybody who is watching. If you were watching us live, please jump into the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Selena and I are going to be keeping an eye on the comments throughout the show. Hello, Brian. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Lori. If you have thoughts or comments or questions, jump into the comments. Say hi. We do not know if you're here unless you leave a comment. And we are happy to answer any questions you have throughout the show. Very cool. So without further ado, Selena, you want to get started with our video breakdown segment?
Let's do it. I'm excited.
Let's do it. All right. So we have a video breakdown today from a SendSpark user. And let's go ahead. We're going to watch the video. This is a user-submitted video. And then Selena and I are going to give our breakdown for some things that they did effectively and some things that they maybe want to try doing differently in the future. So we're going to watch this video. And as a note to everybody at home, if you would like to participate in a video breakdown, you can email us a video at videosellinglive@sendspark.com. So let's take Selena. Do we know? I'm sorry, I didn't get this fella's name. Do you know who
Yes.
today's video comes from?
Yes, it is Dan.
Okay, today's video is from Dan. Dan, thank you very much for submitting a video today for our video breakdown. And let's go ahead and give it a watch.
Wait. Hi, Dan Vermont here from Brickle, the enterprise e-commerce solution for microstores. Check out this short video on the feature that got everyone talking at PPAI. Generating POs for suppliers is quite a manual task for many. Not anymore. Brickle's one-click multi-vendor PO can save you significant time. I'm going to show you exactly how it works with a store that I've had running over the last couple of days. So go into Brickle's reporting feature, select the specific sales channel. So run a demo during the PPAI. I'm going to pick a time and a date. I'm looking for all orders that have been paid. I'd like it in PDF format and multi-vendor PO. Generate that. So what the system's now doing is accumulating all of the orders from this particular store for this date range. And it's now going to create individual POs for each supplier. A huge time saving. So I've got a Sanmar PO, SNS, Alpha Broda, PCNA, HIT, and Cutter and Buck, which can now be downloaded and sent to each of the suppliers. If you'd like to find out more, if you think this feature is going to help you close out your stores, then please get in touch.
Okay, so thank you, Dan. And Selena, why don't you take us off here for the beginning? What are your reactions to watching this video initially?
Okay, so since we're talking about wanting to get a minute or a video in 1 minute or less, my initial thought is, without taking away the context of the video, like the important part of it, I immediately think of a pre recorded video with a short introduction video, which, of course, I'm going to mention SensePark. That's something that we have on there. And I say this because, one, you may have noticed that at the beginning of the video, Dan introduced himself, which this is more of a really good opportunity to create a custom intro that's going to allow you to connect with your prospect, because now you can actually make it personalized. On top of that, you can also create this video on your prospect's website or even their LinkedIn page. Usually, though, the website is what's going to draw more attention. So anyways, on the first like 10-15 seconds of the video, Dan can mention his prospect's name. And I say name because there's like an interesting psychology behind it all, that's really fun to look into if you want to look into it. But it basically suggests that when you hear your name out loud, it's creating a sense of like recognition, validation, and apparently dopamine that gets released into your brain when you're hearing your name out loud. So whenever you can, use your prospect's name. And then B, of course, like mentioning a common challenge that your prospect faces in their role and why sticking around for the next part of the video is going to help them with their challenge. So something like, Sam, I saw that you have a few micro stores and you're facing the common challenge that most leaders in the same role as yourself are facing, which is generating POs for your suppliers. And I understand this is a very time-consuming task and it's very manual, but good news, stick around for the next video. I'm going to show you how you can save time generating those POs with just one click. So that's like already condensed, and now you have your hook. But now, two, he can focus on the actual pre-recorded video. Since he already did the hook, now he only needs to focus on the actual content and keeping it short, sweet, and simple. So you can add that pre-recorded video. I'm thinking making it more of a teaser, saying something that's going to get people excited, curious, and feel the need to know more information. And just, like I said, the curiosity, getting the teaser out there, talking to the camera as if it's your prospect face to face, which you should be doing with every video. So yeah, so that in this case, he can probably just do something like, I'm just going to add the value of showing you. So watch me generate X amount of numbers of POs within 10 seconds. After those 10 seconds are up, I would say that Dan can go right into just saying something like, all right, to help you take your store closings to the next level and save you significant time, schedule a call with me right here below. And boom, you're pretty much done. And you can do that within 30 to 40 seconds. And because you know your product so well, it might even just take less than that. And even if you don't combine two videos together, you can still use this as a guide. So that way you can help yourself stay within a certain time frame, but still hit the points that you really need to do, and speak to your prospect as if they are face to face with you.
Let me jump in here. So one word that I think is very important for the audience to focus on. This is backwards in my screen, but it says you. I write the word you on a Post-it note. And I want to give some commentary on this because this is not a personalized video, and that's fine. Not everybody sends a personalized video out every time, but I want to hone in on something Dan said at the start of the video. Dan introduced himself and his company, and you don't even need to do that. Like, they can see your name in the email, they can see your company name in your email. But the first thing he said is, I want to show you something, or he says, everybody is talking about this feature. I want to show the feature that everybody is talking about. And I actually would not recommend that. If I was making this video, I would start by saying, I want to show you something. If you are constantly doing X and Y and Z, you're probably spending way too much time. So here's a super simple thing you could do to cut that down. You could showcase whatever it is on the screen, and then you make the you make the call to action there very inviting for them to come in there. So being like, hey, I would love to talk with you about this further. If you're interested in this and you want to learn more about this tool, go ahead and click this link. Hope to hear from you soon. But yeah, whether I'm making a video that's one-to-one or one-to-many, even if I'm making it like it's a piece of content that's going out there on LinkedIn, I'm often using that word you. And again, I want this to feel like it's custom made for the prospect, even if it is just kind of a generic video that I'm sending out to a certain type of buyer. So any other like specific feedback here, Selena, on anything Dan said or did in the video?
I like the fact that he wants to use his product as like a teaser to, get people to kind of interact and want to take a call with him. But I would keep it a lot shorter and just keep it more of a teaser instead.
Yeah, I'm actually, so my mindset is like, I am a big fan of screen shares,
Mhm.
oftentimes once that relationship has begun. So, not to say at home that nobody should do a screen share, like screen shares are great. But in my case, like, let's say I cold call somebody, right? And somebody says, hey, just send me an email. That can turn into a conversation with them about like features that they'd like to potentially see. And
Mhm.
then that's when I go home and I pop on the screen share and I say something like, hey, Selena, it was great speaking with you today. You had some questions about how I can, reduce time on this process. So I figured I would actually show you. And then actually take that one step further and demonstrate that to them. I would say, at home, if you're like getting too overwhelmed by the screen share, or if you're too concerned about talking about what's on the screen, you could even skip it for the cold email and just say, hey, I wanted to reach out to you because I have this solution, or, I think I could help you out with something potentially that you're working on. We're going to be getting into our lesson here in a moment, but when in doubt, simple is better. You always want to make it short and sweet. You always want to make it about the other person. I like what Carrie says here. Carrie says, it's about them. Remember at home, this video is not about you. Whenever you're getting on video for sales, you are not the star of the video. Your prospect is. The receiver of the video, they are the main character here. You are just simply showing up to help them understand something, uh, get a little better at something, introduce them to a concept or an idea that might help them out. But at the end of the day, it's all about them. So, Dan, thanks again very much for submitting a video. Anybody at home, if you would want to submit a video for a future episode, go ahead. You can send that to videosellinglive@senspark.com. And I think it's time for us to get into today's lesson. So, Selena, are you ready for the lesson today?
I'm ready. Let's do
All
it.
right, here we go. All right, and it is lesson time. So today, the lesson is going to be on conversational tone. So this is a favorite of mine. This is a topic that I don't think enough sales teams spend time thinking about. But on camera, you want to just come off as a natural conversational person. So, Selena, why don't you start with a little bit about some techniques that you use to help get a more conversational delivery on camera?
Yeah, absolutely. So I picture the lens of my computer. I picture it as the person. And I know it's very hard to do at first, but I do. I try to picture it as the person because ultimately that person is going to be there in the long run. So I talk to the lens as if that person is right there and I have straight eye contact as much as possible. I do a lot of smiling. I know not a lot of people do, but I do because it's my personality, and I really want to make sure that my personality is shining here, and people can see that I am a human being. I'm not like an AI generated avatar that's just out here to, steal my game and sunshine. But and then I would say I'm like honing into what I love doing. So I love letting people know that I can help them with certain things. And that right there is the motivation that helps me become conversational. So I would say those things tie it in a little bit.
I,
Some of
I
the
want
things
to
I
I
do.
want to add one thing onto here that maybe somebody in the audience needs to hear. Um, it's kind of unnatural
It
to
is.
do this correctly, right? So Selena mentioned a very valid point there. You want to talk to the camera like it's a person in the room with you. If you're new to this, or even if you've been doing this for a while, it's probably going to feel kind of strange. So, for example, right now, it looks like I am making direct eye contact with the audience. And it's because I am actually ignoring my image on the screen and Selena's image on the screen, and I am looking directly into my webcam light, which is set at eye level. Right. So this is going to take some practice. Anybody who's ever been in a Zoom meeting, probably what you're doing is you're looking at the images of the faces on the screen when you're talking to them. But actually, if I'm looking over here, I'm looking at me on the screen, but it looks like I'm looking away from my audience. And what most people do, especially when they're new to video prospecting, is they are fixating on their own image on screen. And when you do that, you're going to get these little nervous movements in your eyes, right? Your eyes are going to be making these little micro movements. Your prospect is probably not going to pick up on the fact that you're making them kind of uncomfortable, you're making them feel nervous, and that's why they didn't respond well to your video. That's a subconscious thing that they're not really going to be able to tell. Something's just going to feel off. But if you're sitting there, if you're looking straight into the camera lens the entire time, you are simulating natural eye contact. You're going to make your prospect feel seen and acknowledged. You are going to look more confident in there. And I find when I know where to look, when I'm fixated on that one single focal point, it's a lot easier for me to relax and speak confidently and comfortably, like I'm talking to another person who's just sitting here in the room with me.
Yeah, and if it helps, I know this sounds almost a little bit cheesy, but I'm a queen of cheesy. I love it. If you have to put like a picture of a potential prospect or like a picture of a model of some sort right where your lens is, then do it. If that's what's going to help you, or even a smiley face of some sort or eyeballs, that'll help.
Yeah, no.
Make you laugh, but
Yeah, well, that's fine though. So, I mean, here's the thing that I think people need to know, and this is like I'm a coach, right? So if anyone in the audience doesn't know, I do this full time. I teach people to get on video, and half the game is what I'm not thinking about, right? And if there's anyone at home who's ever felt insecure, if you feel insecure about the way you look, if you feel insecure about your smile, or maybe it's issues with your body, you feel that you're overweight or something like that, this is a very common thing that everybody worries about when they get on video, including me. I'm a video coach, I'm a content creator, and I worry about my appearance too. And I've been doing this for long enough to assure you that that's not what your audience is thinking about. Especially if you're doing sales, they are thinking about all the things that are not getting done. They're thinking about that quota they missed. They're looking at that number for next quarter, saying, why are we not getting there fast enough? They are not thinking about your appearance. So if necessary, you can like put something over your camera. You can like, again, Selena had a great suggestion of putting something up by the camera. Maybe that's a picture of somebody. That could be a little sticker too. I know some people who put a little arrow sticker pointing to their lens. But the thing I'm trying to get across to you is you should not be thinking about your own appearance. I like to visualize someone sitting across from me at, a cafe or something, drinking coffee, and just try to put my mindset is to like, how would I speak with this person if we were out together, just having a friendly chat?
Mhm. Yeah. And to add to that though, if you are really, really like just concerned about your appearance and you can still put it aside, I will say that if you are using SenseSpark, I got to put it out there, Chris, I have to. If you are using SenseSpark, we do have something that we're working on and it's in beta, but it already has some appearance enhancements. So if you really are just not feeling your glow of the day, then you could use that. Just
Yeah. No, we're all for shameless plugs here. We want everybody to get SenseSpark. If you're listening and you're interested in SenseSpark, yes, it does automatically touch up your appearance, which will help you to not think about it. And if you'd like to check out SenseSpark, you can scan that QR code and check it out because it's super cool. It's what we use for our video prospecting. But yeah, ultimately, like, it's going to be best when you're fixed. Oh, someone scanned the code already. Excellent. Ultimately, you're wanting to focus on the message, and anything you can do to make sure that that's your only priority is going to help. I want to real quickly here jump into I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Marlis. Marlis. But Marlis says, I use my hands when I talk, just like I would in person. Plus, I lean in when appropriate. I would say, so for this, I don't know if that was just like just contributing what you do or if this is something you're worried about. Um, I recommend not looking at your appearance when you are filming, but I do think it's important to watch your videos afterwards and think about how they made you feel. So maybe you use your hands too much. You're probably going to realize that when you're watching your video. If you go watch it afterwards and you find it's distracting, that might be something you need to cut down on. I remember when I was first starting out on video. So if anyone can't tell, I'm kind of an intense person. And, my first videos, I was really big and I was just like giving way too much energy to the camera. And then I stopped and watched it and I was like, oh, I'm kind of making myself uncomfortable. Like I'm pushing a little too hard. I'm a little too manic. I'm a little too all over the place. And I learned with just calming myself down a little and maintaining that patient eye contact with the lens, I got a much more natural delivery out there on camera. And I don't know, Selena, if you have any tricks. I actually listen to music before I film. I'm big on mindset. And, I believe in order to do video effectively, you need to be confident on video. So I actually use music to get into the right mindset before I start filming. I listen to a lot of crazy jazz music. I listen to really fun stuff to kind of pump me up and get me in the right state of mind. So when I turn on the camera, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I'm in my element. I don't have to go over the top. I can just look straight into that lens and say exactly what I need to say.
Yeah. I listen to music too. I think that's really helpful. I love listening to music, especially like, my Latina music and EDM music. I really think it helps. To go back to like the point of like the hand gestures, I just want to bring that up just real fast because I feel like I can completely relate to you. I'm from up north. On top of that, Latina here. So we speak with our hands. So if that's something that does make you uncomfortable when you do see it, like there's certain things you can do. Like you can literally sit on your hand and only leave one hand. That way it's not so crazy. Or you can just kind of do one of these, something where you're just like controlling the hand. And what Chris said was really important is just like calming yourself down is also another really good one, because when you're passionate about what you do and you're excited about what you do, it's going to come off on camera, but just like slowing it down might help you with not creating so many hand gestures as I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I use my hands all the time. But also, it's like the phrase that models use where they say smile with your eyes.
Yeah.
I will say, especially if you are on HD video, HD cameras are very good at picking up precise movements of the eyes and the mouth. So if you're a person who's used to talking on stage, like many salespeople are, on stage, you've typically got a room full of people. You have to like connect to the people in the back of the room. You can do a lot just sitting here giving your natural energy. I was gonna say, so Marla said, wait, no, where's this?
Yeah, she said that she doesn't feel uncomfortable, that she uses it to be more human and
Oh
real.
no, that's great. Again, it's all about getting the real version of you out there. So it's like, obviously, we've been talking with our hands the entire time. I talk with my hands sometimes in the prospecting video. I didn't understand the intention you had on that, but yeah, that's the idea here. Is just like get the real, natural version of you out there. That's what the audience wants to see, and that's going to be the easiest way for you to make a connection with your audience. Cool. So, anything else, Selena, or do we want to move on to this week's challenge?
I think we can move on to this week's challenge. I'm excited.
Okay, get ready for it because it is time for this week's challenge. All right, so this is the time every episode where we throw it back to you, the audience. So it's not enough to just sit here and take in, information. We want you going out there doing video selling at the highest level possible. And for episode 1, we have a very simple challenge, and that is we are challenging you, the viewer, to make 5 videos today. Now, if that's not something anybody's done, that can sound like a lot. Selena, does that sound like a lot to you?
No, not anymore.
Yeah. So I recommend to my clients, if you're ever going to sit down and make a video for sales, make more than one. You know, the biggest mistake that video sellers make is they obsess over one video. They spend 3 or 4 hours making one video, then they stop. And, you know, I don't want to say sales is a numbers game because that's an oversimplification. But the reality is, if you're doing video for sales, just like calling, just like emailing, just like any form of sales, you're going to need to do it to more than one person. You know, so I recommend to all my clients, if you are sitting down to make a video for sales, make 5. And the easiest way to do that is to sit down with a list of names and just do them one after the other. So, Brian, I see you in here saying you're ready for it. Well, I want you to make 5 videos today. If you're in sales, pick 5 of your prospects, make sure they are similar, get them down on a list, and just do them back to back to back, one after the other. My advice is don't worry about sending, don't worry about emailing them. Film all 5 of them at one time and then upload them, send them, add your subject lines. Bethany, our founder, is in here answering a user question who asked, can you do this on your phone? Yeah, if you want to use your phone, everybody's phone has a great HD camera in it. You can turn it on. Again, record the 5 videos back to back to back, upload them to SendSpark or whichever program you use, and then send them out. But I promise this challenge is going to be much easier if you just film them all at one time and then go send them out individually and see how they perform. So, Selena, do you have any tips to our audience here on what's the easiest way for them to film and send 5 videos today?
Oh, man, there's so many, but I feel like what you said is good. Just do them because you're going to mess up. And I remember the first time I ever used to do videos, I was messing up like crazy. And I literally did a video for like 1 hour. If you mess up, it's okay. Bethany gave me the best advice when I first started. And she said, if you mess up, it's just going to show how human you are. So even if you do mess up just a little bit, it's fine. Don't worry about it. If you mess up at the beginning and you're using SendSpark, use a trim feature. If you mess up at the end, use a trim feature. Focus on your pre-recorded videos if you want as well. Like what I talked about earlier, if you do have SendSpark, use the combined video feature so that you can just focus on maybe 2 pre-recorded videos and then get out your intro videos. That's the advice I would start off with.
Yeah, for me, I would say if you're in sales and you're trying to pop off 5 videos in one sitting, try to make all the group together 5 buyers that are somehow similar.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they are all in the same kind of industry. You know, maybe they're all encountering the same problem that you solve. Maybe it's a certain buyer persona type, you know, whatever that is. I find if I am sending videos to 5 people who are in some way similar, the conversation is going to be pretty much the same for each of them, right? I'm going to say pretty much the same thing in every video, except I'm going to sub out a different name and maybe a detail or 2 about their company. But I'm going to do this today. I'm going to hold myself to it. I'm going to make 5 videos today. I hope everybody will at home too. And we've reached our time today. So I'm going to put one more plug here for SendSpark. If anybody wants to get started with video, you can go ahead, scan this code to get started with SendSpark. You could get the free version, or you can get the upgraded version if you want all the fancy bells and whistles and features. But yeah, get started today. And we would love to hear from you for a future episode. So Video Selling Live airs every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we're going to have a new lesson, a new challenge, and we're going to do a new video breakdown. So please send us your videos at videosellinglive@sendspark.com. And you can even scan this QR code here if you want to email us there. Selena, anything else you want to add before we take off today?
No, but I want to say thank you for inviting me today. This was really fun and awesome. And I love all the positive comments that we have in the messages.
Excellent. Yes. Everybody, thank you for joining us today. I will point out to one thing here. When we look at horizontal versus vertical recording, it doesn't matter. Just get on video and send it. The most important thing is that you turn on the camera, and talk directly to your people. So thanks again, everybody. This has been episode 1 of Video Selling Live. Thank you very much for joining us. Say bye, Selena.
Bye.